when Jeremy Colliton was hired, yeah, as you just mentioned it with Keith and Seabrook and Kane and Taves and all those established guys, like, it didn't seem like the right move at the right time. Maybe Colliton is a guy for a team like the current Hawks, maybe, coming up, starting to develop. But what was that dynamic like when a guy basically like peers with Jonathan Taves in terms of age and everything comes in and tries to lead that locker room? What was that dynamic like?
Yeah, I always thought it was just a different dynamic of like where I was coming from. So I had Tip, I have Dave Tippett my first year, who's like well-respected coach across the league. Like nobody's telling him what to do. And then I had Rick Tocchet my second and third year. Kind of the same, not really to Tip's level as far as like, the sternness and the look of him. But, you kind of come, this was my first experience with like a really young coach. Because even in junior, I had a guy, Marty Williamson, who, he was around my dad's age, late 50s, 60s. So my first coach was like a real young guy. For me, I've got a video, that'll eventually come out. I'm going to do something on it. But I guess I can't speak for like Taser and those guys of how, like, what their relationship was like with him. But it did feel like, Taser and those guys already kind of ran the team. So, it was like, I'm not going to say nobody listened, because it wasn't, it wasn't like that at all, but it was interesting. I don't really know how to put it to you, I guess, to use like a word or something. Like, I don't really know how to sort of sum it up, but it was just different. It was different to what I had experienced so far in the NHL with a lot older coaches. And, ultimately didn't really work out, did it? So.
No, yeah, I think the opinion of the fan base is that there was like almost contempt and utter disrespect for Colliton. And I don't know if that's the truth or not, but how fans like to Zapruder film everything. Like there's this video of Colliton in the locker room and Duncan Keith is just completely not listening to him doing anything. And so people have taken that and ran with, they have no respect for the guy.
Then there was the famous game where Taves took the clipboard away from him in a timeout and started drawing it up himself.
That didn't help.
And you're kind of like, well, that's probably going to be the end of that. And that was one of his last games, if I remember, after that happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unfortunately, trying to replace a guy like Q on a team full of guys like that, you kind of put the poor guy in a situation to fail.
Yeah. Maybe there was some sort of like, and I wish him all the best too, and hope he's doing well and his family's doing well and stuff. Maybe it was some sort of situation of they thought that, maybe the leadership group could do more of that. That's why they hired a younger guy instead of bringing in a real stern guy and, this is my philosophy and play my way or don't play at all. Because sometimes that can go the other, like a torts or whatever, right?
We all silly like the mayor.